Effective October 1st, the cost of electricity will shoot up by 6.5%, and that of water will also go up by 4.54%, according to the Public Utilities and Regulatory Commission (PURC), which announced the new tariffs today. Ghana Water Company will need to fix some of its challenges before being allowed to charge the new rates. Of course, Ghana Water is not happy about that. The increases come on the back of current load shedding exercises, which has hit industries hard with the PURC, which the PURC duly recognized. So, how should industries be psyching up for this, and what considerations went into this quarter's automatic tariff adjustment? My name is Stephen N.T., and this is today's big story. Now, the PURC says it considered several factors that formed part of the automatic adjustment formula and has reviewed the prices of electricity by 6.54% and water by 4.5%. In July this year, electricity prices were increased by 6.1%, while water was also increased by 12%. So, on the back of current erratic supplies and power rationing, is it fair to still charge consumers more? How much of this can industries take, and what will be the overall effect on the energy power mix? We're trying to get onto the telephone lines now to speak to Nanaya Jantua, who is the Public Relations Officer of PURC. Later on, we'll also get onto the line and speak to Stanley Mate. I'm told Stanley Mate, Public Relations Officer of the Ghana Water Company, is on the line now. Good evening, sir.
Hello.
Good evening, sir.
Evening.
Now, the PURC more like deferred your ability to charge the new tariff because they say you have some challenges you have to fix. I'm told you are not happy about that.
No, naturally we are not happy. You know, everybody wants more. So if you are expecting to have an increase and you don't get it, you will not be happy. So that is the case. We're not happy at that. That's simply put. That's what I would say.
And what kinds of challenges have you been facing with water distribution?
No, it's clear. We know we've always been telling everybody that we are not meeting the demand of the people, and that is because we are faced with inadequate funds, which will help us to expand our treatment plants, produce more for everybody to get. And that is the challenge. So the main challenge is that of shortage of supply. We have supply shortfall, and that's the main challenge there. There are other things like the fact that people are engaging in the gas connection, filling our systems and the rest, and then water. And then we have the issue of foreign exchange losses, whereby we are forced to import chemicals at higher cost every now and then. So there are a lot of challenges. There's a million challenges, but the main one is that we can't meet demand because of supply shortfall.
Right. So I'm sure I'm talking to Michael, not Stanley Mate, right? Correct?
No, that's Michael. Yeah.
Michael. Yeah, Michael. So the key question I want to ask is that: do you find this unfair? For example, if you wanted more and you didn't get, do you think that the PURC possibly was not fair in considering your circumstances, the circumstances you just told us about?
That is my feeling. In actual fact, I believe from the way when I heard it, I thought they are not being fair to us. Because you all know that the automatic adjustment formula, as they themselves have been saying, is driven by variables like exchange losses, inflation, in our case, cost of electricity, cost of chemicals, and the rest. And in our view, all these variables have gone up. They've changed since the last increase. So we're expecting that if for nothing more, we should get some form of increase. Right. I mean, looking at if you know about our operation, we actually the cost of production, we spend we use 33% of our revenue on paying for 60. So electricity cost alone is a burden to us. So if you are increasing the tariffs for electricity, so the world go, if for nothing at all, then there should be some form of increase for Ghana Water too, because electricity cost has gone up.
Right.
And as I said, that forms 33% of our cost.
Right.
So now that we are not going to get any increase, but it means that we are even going to spend more. We have to find money elsewhere. We are going for loans in order to pay for electricity.
Okay, Michael, let me put your concerns to the PURC now. Nanaya Jantua is the Public Relations Officer. She's joining us on the other telephone. Good evening, ma'am.
I'm not a Public Relations Officer. I'm the Director for Public Relations and External Affairs.
Director for Public Relations and External Affairs. Thanks for the correction. Now, it does appear that the Ghana Water Company feels shortchanged, that you reviewed their operations, and although you have awarded them an increase, you're deferring it. What's your reaction to this? They feel that you've not been entirely fair to them.
It's not about fairness. The PURC has the mandate to ensure that the utility service provider does the right thing and also protect the interests of the consumer. There are some issues pending in terms of regulatory requirements and compliance that they haven't even dealt with. So I am saying that the PURC is saying that till those regulatory issues are dealt with, there is no way that the PURC is going to grant them an increase.
Can you give us some specifics on these regulatory issues you talk about?
Even information that we need for our work, information that we need for the work that we do. They need to give us information. They need to give us a lot of things that we need for our work. And once they are not giving us that kind of information and support, then we believe that they should be penalized. At the last quarter, we penalized them, and they didn't bring about the information that we need. So we look as if business as usual, and they don't even care. So as long as they don't give us what we want, we continue penalizing them.
All right, let me get a quick reaction from you, Michael. You heard Nanaya Jantua saying that you're not sitting up on your backside and doing what you have to do.
Come again.
I'm saying that you heard Nanaya Jantua saying that there's a lot you are not doing. You're not giving them the relevant information that they need to access the quality of services you provide the consumers.
Well, I think my argument is that, well, if they are looking at regulatory requirements, but I don't know what my increase is the automatic adjustment formula that they have. It's actually not driven by the requirements that talked about, because of facing lawsuits and all of that. So they are bringing a different dimension. That is my worry now. Punishing us for us because of a regulatory requirement somewhere. But what I'm trying to say is that is not what the thing is based on. I'm saying that it's unfortunate that we are not going to get increased because of this punishment, because in the long run, it's going to affect our patients. We are going to pay more. They're going to suffer in terms of paying more to electricity when we are not going to get anything, because perhaps we haven't fulfilled the regulatory requirements that we have. Well, I am here to even speak to management to find out what the regulatory requirements are. They haven't explained that in detail to us actually, but perhaps because of time when we get it,
right,
management might respond appropriately. But the bottom line is that I'm just insisting that the automatic adjustment formula is not based on the regulatory requirements, but rather based on the fact that exchange law area. Ghana, I think in their release, they said Ghana US dollar exchange rate or something, and then inflation, and then all the chemical costs, electricity costs, and all of that. That is what the formula is based on. And looking at all these things, then what it means is that we should have gotten some things. But then they are saying that for us, because of some requirement that we need to submit, we haven't done that, so they are going to. But then it's actually unfortunate because it's going to affect it as well.
Nanaya, you heard him. I mean, he.
You see, the automatic adjustment formulas, you said, are driven by some factors. At the end of the day, whatever is churned out of those factors is a tariff, and the PURC has the regulatory mandate and also the prerequisite to use whatever tool to penalize the utilities. What we are not saying that the regulatory requirements is part of the variable. We are saying that they did not meet those requirements. They haven't met it over time, and they are using this a refusal of a tariff increase to penalize them.
Right, Michael.
There's also a decision variable, and that variable is also part of the variables that we use to determine the tariff at the end of the day. And that is when the commission can decide which way the tariff should go, or who should get it or who shouldn't get it.
Right. Michael, I know that I should be giving you the opportunity to respond. Quickly, I'll give you a couple of seconds. We don't have a lot of time. So you respond to the Naya Jantua so we can move on with our conversation.
What I just want to say is that, and the time but I'm actually looking at the effect that their decision will have on our corporation. And, well, I'm happy. In the eye release, it looks like I'm finding it difficult to link the quality of the poor quality of service, the regulatory requirements that they are talking about. If they are doing the very that's fine, but I'm trying to actually bring out the fact that perhaps they are not actually going according to automatic adjustment formula, but punishing it because of something else. So that is what I'm trying to. I'm just worried about that. But I'm just trying to leave that to management to decide on this actual reaction that they have to give them. But to me, perhaps another person, that's what I'm thinking of, that automatic adjustment is not based on the neutral requirement, but they are using that as a tool. That's some punishment on that and all of that. That's the worry I have.
Right. Thank you very much, Michael Ajiman is Chief Public Relations Officer for Ghana Water Company. So, Nanea, I would like to shift the discussion further a little bit. In your release, you stated that the Commission considered the current inadequate supply situation, which has resulted in load shedding and on consumers, especially with electricity and water. And then it went on to spell out the other variables that went into the increase, which includes the CD exchange rate, inflation, etc. Now, I am concerned that electricity, for example...
Can I please correct you?
Yeah.
We didn't say that the tariff was because of the load shedding.
No,
I didn't. Because of the dependence.
No,
I didn't. Crude oil.
I didn't say that too. I didn't say that. I said that you said that during your deliberations you took into consideration the current inadequate supply situation.
Okay.
I wanted to base my question.
It is one. It is one of the factors that we took in. That is why we arrived at that figure.
That's right, and I'm saying that despite this, that's the point I'm trying to make. That despite the current inconsistency in supply, you still found reason to increase prices. A lot of people are thinking that's too harsh because many people are already spending more. You acknowledged it in your release already, that many people are spending more to find alternative sources of energy supply, and yet they have to pay more also if they're getting power from the grids.
Which will be better, to get some power from the grid and supplement it under the circumstances with other alternative sources, and not to get power at all and solely depend on other sources of energy, which will be better.
Well, you tell me. I mean, I'm trying.
Yeah, that's a question I'm asking. Because if we don't, now there's a dependence on crude oil. There's an increase in demand. Demand is growing at a very alarming rate. We are not conserving electricity. We are using electricity as if, it is there in abundance. We don't have a reserve margin. There's a surplus anywhere. And whenever there is any disturbance in the system, then we are in trouble. When Nigeria coughs, we catch a cold. When Nigeria states that we don't have gas, due to various reasons that they give at any particular point in time, then there is a problem. If you can recall, about 2-3 weeks ago, we were shedding load of 800 megawatts, which is huge because Nigeria has gone on strike, workers of WACP, and the little gas that we were getting through Asogli and for the other plants was not coming through. This erratic nature of gas supply is really impinging and impacting on electricity supply in the country. this increase of 6.54% is not going to even improve the situation. It's just going to maintain the situation. Because already we are having challenges with hydro. There's a dependence on thermal with crude, not even with gas. So that some of the plants are even down, and because we don't have a reserve margin, at the end of the day, we have a problem. We are shedding load between 150, 200 megawatts every day. But this amount of 6.54% is just going to help maintain the situation in which we are.
So really, how did you...
Last quarter, you remember we had 31.25%.
Yeah.
And we passed on 12%, and that one, it was only the exchange rate. And let's assume that even the remaining 19, if we are going to even pass it on, it would have been higher than this. So that is why we are saying we even considered the situation, and kicking in the decision variable, the commission decided to arrive at 6.54%.
So that's 6.5.
I hear people saying that it is political. I don't see anything. PURC is an independent regulatory body. My brother, which government in this country or in anywhere would want tariffs to be increased? Just tell me. But we've done an independent work, and this is where we have arrived.
Right. I need to get a fairer understanding. For example, if you arrived at 6.54.
Hello.
Yeah. Can you hear me? I'm saying that you arrived at 6.54, for example, for electricity. Why couldn't it have been more? Let's say 6.7. What went into the specific determination of deciding?
Is clearly the issue of the crude oil dependence and the decision variable.
Okay.
Because the last quarter it was the exchange. Now the exchange rate is coming down, but even that one, the CD is appreciating. Looking at this, is just appreciated for 2 weeks. This is a 3-month tariff. We don't even know what is going to happen next week. I'm not saying. I hope that it comes down. Also, we are looking forward to gas coming from Atuabo. Our load is increasing, demand is increasing. Look at all the buildings around. All these high-rise buildings, they demand electricity on the national grid. And somebody will say crude oil price is going down. The volumes are up. Because we are having about, I would dare say that it is a 40-60 situation we are facing in this quarter. A 40-60 situation, a 40 of hydro, 60% of thermal. And if you have 60% of thermal in your generation mix and you don't have your own gas or adequate gas or other sources of gas like LNG, and you have to depend also on crude oil, because VRA is buying $3 million a day of crude oil, a day. A week is 21 million, times 4 is $84 million in a month. Even at this stage that we are all getting some little gas from WACP.
Right. Nanaya, I'll hold you briefly. I'm going to get onto the other telephone line to get some reactions from industry. The Vice President of the Ghana Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Prosper Adabla, is joining us now. Good evening, sir.
Evening.
Now, most of your members, I'm informed, most of your members have been always complaining about the inconsistency in power supply and how much it's costing them more in production and manufacturing, whatever businesses they are into. Now there is a new announcement of a new tariff rise. What are your people saying? What are your members saying?
Well, first of all, as business people in the manufacturing and sectors, anytime the cost of any type of utility goes up, we bear the brunt of it. It hurts us, our business, etc. The end result being that we immediately turn around and move the extra cost of doing business onto consumers. So, in the final analysis, Ghanaians that are being hurt, not only the business. But any time tariffs go up, it affects us in ways you cannot imagine. And that's what this is going to do.
Are you expecting that this recent rise is going to kick you in the teeth again?
Come again, sir.
I'm saying that I'm asking if you are expecting this recent rise to begin to affect you much more.
Yes, it will. A rise in 0.5% in tariffs, has a devastating effects on our business, on our partners. With the recent commitment that we're going to, all of us are trying to make do with the new changes coming up. So any worsening of the situation at this moment just goes a long way to hurt us, business. But government has to tariffs. That's what they have to do.
Right. Now, there have been concerns from other groups, like political groups, who are saying that this is a rip-off and, consumers are complaining. Is there a particular position from your organization on the announcement?
I don't want to use psychedelic or colored words to describe the effect this would have on us. But I can tell you that any rising of more than 1% in any utility goes a long way to hurt us. We have to cough up more money to pay for that utility. We have factories, our tariffs go up. We have to go look for money to make payments. If you go to borrow the money, pay 33% interest on the loan. It's a spiraling effect. So any rise in tariffs, without mincing words, goes to hurt us.
Right, Prosper, I'm grateful for your time on today's big story. I'll wrap with you now, and I'll go back to Nanaya Jantua. Nanaya, you heard Prosper from the Ghana Industry for Commerce and Industry, Chamber of Commerce and Industry, saying that, of course, we do know that increase in tariffs affects industries and manufacturing industries and services and everything. Now, I need to find out from you, when you go into deliberations to agree on whether to reduce or increase tariffs, whether the arrangements are such that you have interactions with industries before the announcement. Right. Ma'am, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Right. We spoke to the Ghana Chamber of Commerce and Industry, and they raised key issues about increase in tariffs affecting their cost of operating cost of operations. I'm asking if, in considering in your deliberations to increase or reduce tariffs, you have some form of rapport or engagement with them before you come out with your final...
You see, these tariffs are driven by automatic external factors, movement in these factors. So it is driven by these factors. And the net effect of even two of the factors can change the direction of the tariff. You also consider the cost of unserved energy. The cost of unserved energy, where industry is using other alternative sources of energy, maybe 70%. And how much are they going to pay as against an increase in tariff of 5.64%? There's also the issue of, in 2013, when we increased the tariff 1st October, industry, Ghana Chamber of Commerce, Ghana Chamber of Mines, AGI, TUC, some stakeholders met and they did a communique that PURC should religiously and rigidly implement the automatic adjustment formula. That any increase that we get every quarter, we should pass it on. PURC was accused variously for not before. We will kick in the decision variable and say that looking at the situation and everything, let us push it aside. But industry said no. Labor said no. Any increase that we get, we should pass it on in every calculation. And once these variables are going about, they are going in a certain direction, or the impact of two or three of them are impinging on the others, suddenly you see some form of increase in there. And I remember categorically in October, November, the communique is here. They said that we should implement automatic adjustment formula religiously. That any increase, even if it is a quarter increase, we should pass it on. And that is what we are doing, because we listen to our consumers and we listen to our stakeholders.
Right, and Ajatwa, we're very grateful for your time on today's Big Story. That's where we'll bring the curtains down for our discussion on energy. We'll carry forward this discussion on our interactive segments as well. My name is Stephen Enti. We'll be right back.